What if we could use the stars to predict the next moves of a world leader? Today, we're diving into Donald Trump's astrological chart for 2025, exploring what it reveals about his potential leadership style, economic strategies, and international influence. Curious about what his horoscope has in store? Let's find out. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're analyzing the possible impact of Donald Trump's leadership in 2025 based on his birth chart. We'll be looking at his economic policies, geopolitical strategies, and even how his chart might influence major conflicts and alliances worldwide. So if you're fascinated by astrology and how it can connect to real-world events, stick around. Let's start with the economy. Trump's chart reveals a strong Leo ascendant, a placement known for bold, ambitious actions. With Leo ruling his approach, we're likely to see him pushing for fiery economic policies. Think high-impact decisions, perhaps focusing on industries like defense, energy, and infrastructure. But there's more. Mars is also in Leo, adding a layer of risk-taking to his decisions. This influence suggests he may support high-stakes financial moves, like aggressive tax cuts or large-scale infrastructure projects. While these initiatives could boost short-term growth, they come with a warning. Mars in Leo is also known for volatility. These policies could lead to sudden market fluctuations or risks if not carefully managed. Another intriguing factor is Rahu, or the North Node, in Trump's 10th house, a placement that amplifies ambition. Under this influence, we might see him driving aggressive growth policies, perhaps even positioning the US more dominantly on the global economic stage. Rahu's influence is often linked to speculative ventures and rapid expansion. So while this energy could foster growth, it also poses risks of overreach. Now let's talk about geopolitics. With Mars in the ascendant, Trump's chart suggests an assertive, even confrontational foreign policy approach. This Mars placement indicates that his leadership in 2025 might involve bold stances with global powers like China and Russia. Under this influence, we could see intensified tensions, with Trump pushing boundaries to assert US dominance. And then we have Rahu and Ketu, the so-called shadow planets. Rahu, placed in Taurus in the 10th house, amplifies his drive for influence, particularly in critical regions like the Middle East and Europe, where energy and security concerns are paramount. With these placements, hidden agendas and strategic maneuvers could come to the forefront. It's a setup that often brings big shifts on the global stage. So how could this translate to specific situations, like the Ukraine conflict? Rahu's influence suggests Trump might push for unexpected moves. For example, he could lean toward negotiations, but on terms that enhance US influence. Meanwhile, Mars's placement hints at an increase in armed support or other indirect involvement, rather than a direct military intervention. Overlay of Jupiter in Trump's chart. Jupiter's transit over important houses could also play a role here, guiding Trump's leadership toward diplomatic expansion. This could mean he'd push for peace talks, but structure them in a way that secures favorable conditions for the United States. If successful, this approach could mark a shift toward a more strategically dominant America. Now let's shift to the Israel-Palestine tensions. The combination of Mars and Rahu in Trump's chart points toward a very assertive stance on Israel, possibly offering unilateral support. While this could strengthen US-Israel relations, it might also intensify regional tensions, creating a more polarized environment. With Ketu in Sagittarius, we also see the potential for an unconventional approach. Known for spiritual detachment and upheaval, Ketu's influence might lead Trump to take a less traditional route, potentially pushing for a reset in regional alliances or boundaries. But this influence could disrupt existing peace efforts, so it's a mixed bag that might bring both opportunities and risks for stability. Astrology highlights several key moments for Trump in 2025. Here's a quick breakdown of what we might expect during these times. 1. Best periods. Jupiter's influence, April to August. During these months, Jupiter's transit could bring Trump prosperity, support, and a boost in global influence. Known as the planet of expansion, Jupiter's positive energy could foster success in policy, legal matters, or financial initiatives. So, if we're going to see any major wins, they may happen in this period. 2. Venus transit, May to July. Venus is associated with diplomacy and public image, and during this transit, Trump could see enhanced relations internationally. This period might make it easier for him to build alliances or improve his public appeal, especially in projects related to economic or infrastructure initiatives. 3. Challenging periods. Saturn retrograde, February to October. Saturn's retrograde spells potential challenges. Retrograde Saturn tends to bring delays, scrutiny, and a heavy dose of responsibility. This could be a time when Trump faces opposition, possibly in the form of policy obstacles, scrutiny from opponents, or legal challenges. Expect these months to bring tests of resilience and discipline. 4. Rahu's position. Throughout 2025, Rahu in the 10th house suggests that Trump's ambitions and drive will be amplified all year. This could lead to unpredictable events, particularly in July and December, as Rahu is known for sparking controversy and unforeseen challenges. This influence may require Trump to adapt to sudden changes in his status or position. 5. Eclipse effects, April and October. Finally, the eclipses in April and October could be especially pivotal. Given Rahu and Ketu's presence in his chart, these eclipses may bring sudden shifts or upheavals. April's eclipse could impact his career moves, while October's eclipse might bring challenges in his alliances or even his reputation. These are moments where Trump's adaptability and response to pressure will be crucial. So, in summary, 2025 could be a year of both high points and challenges for Donald Trump, as reflected in his astrological chart. The mid-year period seems favourable for achievements and alliances, while the latter half, especially during Saturn's retrograde and October's eclipse, suggests he'll face increased scrutiny and potential opposition. Astrology provides a fascinating lens into possible trends. But remember, free will and real-world events will ultimately shape the outcome. As always, thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this astrological deep dive, don't forget to subscribe for more insights on world leaders and events. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates as we watch this story unfold.